medicine physician. You all know me, but in case you are watching this on YouTube or on the replay, I practice in Houston, Texas, and I'm so excited to be a yoga teacher because I truly believe it's a way that everyone can be healthier, mind, body, and spirit. Tonight, we are going to do a 60-minute journey into power practice, and our spotlight is Chantel, and so she will be showing you all of the moves that I'll be walking you through. And if you have any questions throughout the class, you can put it in the chat box. But essentially, I will speak and Chantel would demonstrate. Chantel is also a yoga teacher. And so hopefully one day you'll be able to take her classes as well. And welcome, Janelle. Janelle just joined us as well. Camera on or off is completely fine. The benefit of camera on is I will be looking at your bodies throughout the class. And if I see areas for you to improve, reposition, then I can give you those cues. But I definitely know some people are camera shy, and I totally get it, especially when I first started doing yoga, I was the exact same way. So I'm going to send out a quick reminder text to a couple people, and then we'll get started in just a couple minutes. So if you don't already have it, grab water, grab, you should have your yoga mat and a towel. And then if you also have a block, there's definitely some poses where it may be helpful for you to have a block as well. I see Christopher just joined, welcome. And Vicky. So it looks like we're going to have a really good class tonight, guys. And our intention for today's class is going to be just to have fun. You know, Chase said something to me the other day. He was like, "This is my face, mommy." And he was like, "This is your face." Expressionless. And when I get in work mode, that's definitely how I am. And sometimes we got to just forget about the pandemic, forget about work, forget about obligations, and let's just have fun together. Don't stress. If you can't do a pose, who cares? The point is that you have prioritized your health. You showed up tonight and you're practicing with us. And if you're familiar with Journey into Power, we will not go exactly according to the sequence since it's only 60 minutes. And if any pose you feel like this is not working for me, take it off your plate and just go back to child's pose or downward dog. A lot of the poses we will go through multiple times. And so if I say flow, it will incorporate a few poses and I'll tell you what those are. And again, you can keep your camera on or off. I'm going to spotlight Chantel now, since she will be our model. She's our Vanna White for the evening, and we're going to get ready to start. And so our first pose for today is child's pose. I think this is my favorite yoga pose. So essentially, you're going to put your knees on the floor as if you're going to sit on your mat, and then you lean forward with your forehead on the mat and your hands are extended forward. And you are just resting. And it's in this pose that I like to remind you to clear your mind. If you are anything like me, sometimes we can have a lot of thoughts that just come repeatedly. You keep thinking about things, thinking about what's next, and forgetting to be present in the moment. So this is the time within the practice that we're going to just put our to-do list to the side, accept that everything that will be, and everything is going to be okay. And I want you to cherish every moment, every minute, every second, every hour counts. Because we all know, but sometimes we know tomorrow is not promised. And with that, we're going to go into downward dog. So now you're going to come up on your knees on all fours, lift your bottom into the air, your feet are pressed into the ground, Your hands, all 10 fingers are pressed into the mat, and you look like an inverted V. That's what your body position should be. That is downward dog. So Chantel is a great example right now. Your legs are straight, can be slightly bent, head is down. And I'm just going to keep you here for a few seconds. So take a few deep breaths. It should be slightly uncomfortable. That's not unusual, right? Because this is your body warming up, getting ready for the class. So deep breath in, deep breath out. And as we do this throughout the class, it'll get easier each time, but you just have to trust your body that it will get easier each time. So now you're going to look forward and step or jump forward, and we're going to go into ragdoll pose. So you can hold on to your elbows, your head is hanging, and this is that point. Just kind of allow your body to rock back and forth a little bit. We've already cleared our mind. Now we just want to release any tension in our body. And sometimes it can be a little challenging to do that when we're standing straight up. And so this hanging position for me is a great opportunity for you to just say, you know what? I'm letting it all hang, right? Not all hang out, but I'm just letting it all hang in this moment. Just take a few more deep breaths in and out. And sometimes you have to just stay in the pose a little bit longer to really appreciate it. And there's a saying, the pose begins the minute you want to get out of it. And I want you to remember that when a pose feels a little challenging, or you're like, man, I don't want to hold this anymore. Why doesn't she go to the next pose? Well, that's kind of the point, is that that's when the pose really begins. And now we're going to go into mountain pose. Tadasana. Now bring your hands, prayer hands in front. And we're going to do an Om together, like our cleansing breath. And so with me or on your own, Om. Thank you for being here with me. And now we're going to go into our awakening series. So rise up. And we're going to forward fold and halfway lifts. For halfway lift, you are lifting your body so your back is parallel with the floor. You can put your hands on your shins. And then you will do a high plank to low plank, or chaturanga. So your body is parallel to the floor with your arms extended, and then you bend your arms. And now we're going to do upward dog. And you can do this pose with your knees on the ground or with your legs in the air, which means your toes are touching the mat, but your knees are not. Those are two variations. And your chest is up and open. Your head is forward. Drishti is where you're focusing. So your drishti should be straight ahead on the wall in front of you. And then now we're going to go into downward facing dog. We're going to do that a lot throughout class. So pay attention to that pose, or that series, I should say, okay? We're going to do those 4 or 5 things quite a few times throughout. And now look forward and step or jump forward. And then now we're going to halfway lift and forward fold. Now we're going to repeat that 2 more times. Normally we do it 5 times, but since this is a shorter class, we're going to do this 2 more times. So now rise up. Inhale. Forward fold. That's where you bend your body over, touch the floor. Exhale. Halfway lift. Your back lifts parallel to the floor, and you can put your hands on your shins. and chaturanga, where you go from that high plank to low plank. And upward facing dog, your chest comes up and opens, and downward facing dog. You're back to the inverted V. Now look forward and step or jump forward. Halfway lift and forward fold. Okay, that was our second time. And we're going to do this one more time. Rise up and forward fold. Halfway lift. Now chaturanga, or high plank to low plank. And upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Look forward and step or jump forward. Halfway lift, forward fold. And now Utkatasana, or our chair pose. So in this pose, this is a new pose if you're new to this series. And basically your hands are straight forward, like you're reaching up to catch something in the air. And at the same time, you're about to sit in the chair. You have not sat all the way down, but you're getting ready to sit in that chair. All right, that's chair pose. Keep your abdominals engaged. So belly button is being pulled towards your spine. Your drishti can be on the wall in front of you, and all 10 of your toes are pressing down into the ground. This is your chair pose. And now I want you to lower your bottom just 1 more inch, right? So that's when you're going deeper into the pose, and we're going to hold that for just 2 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now forward fold. And halfway lift. High plank, chaturanga. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. And now we're going to come into warrior 1 on your left side, which means your left foot, lift it up into the air and then swing it forward to the front of your mat, almost as if you're going into a lunge. I apologize. I said left side. I meant right side. I apologize. To my Vanna, you were right and I misspoke. Okay, now lift your chest up and then go ahead and reach your hands into the air. And if any point you're on the opposite side, guys, it really is not a big deal. This is not about being perfect. It's called practice for a reason. We're practicing. And then bring your belly button towards your spine. Hands are straight into the air. And then I want you to just lean back into that warrior 1. Feel that stretch. Great. Now chaturanga. Means your legs go back. You're into that high plank, then low plank. Up dog and downward facing dog. And now we're going to do the same thing on the left side. So left leg goes up into the air like you're trying to kick the ceiling. Then it swings forward to the front of your mat. Basically, you are in a lunge, but your back leg is slightly turned towards the parallel of your back, your mat, the back edge of your mat. Belly button is pulled in towards your spine. Arms are straight ahead, fingers reaching for the sky. And now lean back and feel that stretch. Great. And now chaturanga. Leg comes back, high plank to low plank. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Now look forward and step or jump forward. Halfway lift and forward fold. And then now we're going to repeat this entire series 2 more times. So back to our chair pose or Utkatasana. Inhale. Forward fold. Exhale. Halfway lift. Inhale. And then high plank to low plank, chaturanga. Exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. And downward facing dog, exhale. And come into warrior one on the right. I may not cue you for every breath, but please remember to breathe throughout your practice. So warrior one on the right, that's where again you kick your foot back, then bring that foot to the front of your mat. Make sure that your foot is parallel to the long edge of your mat. And then if you find that you have a little bit more room to bring your shin forward, which would lower your pelvis closer to the ground, deepening that stretch, try to do so. Bring your belly button to the spine, reach forward to the sky, and lean back just a little bit more into that pose. Looking good, Chantel, and chaturanga. Going to bring that leg back. High plank to low plank, upward facing dog, and again, downward facing dog. And now we're going to repeat on the left. Left leg goes into the air and then comes all the way forward to the front of your mat. You're basically in a lunge position, but we call this warrior one. Hands come up again, stretching for the ceiling. Belly button in towards your spine. Lean back. Deep breath in and deep breath out, and then chaturanga. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Then you're going to look forward, inhale, step or jump forward, exhale. We will halfway lift, inhale, forward fold, exhale, and then come into chair pose for our last sun salutation B. And look forward and then lower your bottom just an inch closer to the ground if you can. Just hold that chair pose just another 2 breaths. Inhale and exhale. And one more breath. Inhale and exhale. And now come down to chaturanga. And upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Now we're going to go into our warrior one on the right. Kick your leg up towards the ceiling, then swing it forward to the front of your mat. Your foot is parallel to the long edge of your mat. Your knee is above your ankle. Your hips are square. Your belly button is engaged towards your spine, and your hands are just sitting here. Your hands are stretching to the ceiling like a sunflower, just reaching for the sun, and then lean back. And now, hands to the mat for chaturanga. Legs go back. Lower your body to the mat. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. And now we're coming into warrior one on the left. The left leg goes up towards the ceiling and then comes forward to the front of the mat. And again, bring that leg, bring your shin forward if you can to deepen that warrior one. Belly button goes in towards the spine. Arms are stretching towards the sky. Great job, guys. Deep breath in, deep breath out. All right, and bring your arms back to the mat and your leg back for chaturanga. Exhale, upward facing dog. Inhale, downward facing dog. Exhale. Step forward, look forward or step or jump forward. Halfway lift and forward fold. And from here, we are going to go into our vitality series. So I'm going to have you chaturanga, or flow as we like to call it. High plank to low plank, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. And then we're going to do our crescent lunge on the right side. So crescent lunge is very similar to our warrior one pose, except the leg that is straight and behind you, your foot is going to be facing straight forward and flexed, not flat on the mat and turned at an angle. So the difference is really the foot positioning between the crescent lunge and a warrior one. So if it looks like the same thing, you're not confused. It's just a slightly different pose. And in this pose, I want you to think about, when's the last time that you had so much fun, like you laughed till your belly button hurt, right? Think about those happy times and those happy thoughts. And sometimes we can get caught up into what's stressing us out and what's not going right. Think about like, what's the happiest time you can remember in the last year? And then bring your hands in prayer in front of you. And then you're going to twist to the right for crescent lunge twist on that exhale. And you're really going to feel this pose, which is a good thing, right? And that's why I want you to really think about happy thoughts, because if you just sit in this pose and just think about nothing, or just, oh my God, I can't wait till she lets me out of this pose. But if you're thinking about, man, I had so much fun in Miami, running on the beach, looking for seashells, or going to Cuba or something like that, then this pose is so much easier to hold. And now we're going to go to warrior two. So your legs are essentially going to, front leg stays the same, your back leg, you're going to rotate. So your back foot is parallel to the short edge of your mat, and your hands are pointing towards the front and back of your mat at the same height of your shoulder, okay? And then I want you to lower that right, bring your right shin forward so you're a little bit closer to the ground, right? So deepen that lunge if you can in your warrior two. And then we're going to go into extended side angle, which simply means that you bring your right elbow to your right leg, or bring your right arm to the floor or to a block. And then your left arm is reaching towards the ceiling. This is your extended side angle. So we're going to hold this. And here, I want you to think about the last time you spent time with someone that you loved and you did something special for them. So this class is all about fun and thinking happy and fun thoughts. Okay. And now we're going to go into chaturanga. So if you have a block, you can move it to the side and then put your hands on the mat and bring your legs backwards. And you're going to lower towards the floor like you're doing a push-up almost. And then you reach your chest up and open for your upward facing dog. And then you exhale as you come into downward facing dog. And then from here, downward facing dog, or our inverted V pose, you're going to do your crescent lunge on the left side. So left leg goes up this time, and swing it to the front. Right. So basically you're in a lunge, but that back leg, the foot is facing forward and your heel is off the ground and your arms are straight into the sky, reaching for the sky like a sunflower, thinking happy, happy thoughts. And then you're going to bring your hands into prayer and twist to your left side for crescent lunge twist. And again, think about happy thoughts. Think about the last trip you took, the last time you had a great cheat meal, as we hold this pose for just a few more seconds. Deep inhale and exhale. And from here, we're going to go into extended side angle. A warrior two, my apologies. Reach your hands out towards the sides. Bring that left leg arm forward. And from here, transition into extended side angle. And if you have the flexibility, okay, so right now, your left arm is on your left leg or on the ground. So if you have the flexibility, I want you to try to do a bind where you're going to bring that left leg behind your calf. That leg. Yep. And then reach in the other way, Chantel. So bring that arm in front. Yes. And then, yes, bring your other arm behind your back. And now you are in crescent lunge twist with a bind. So extended angle, side angle with the bind. If you can't do that, it's fine, but this is just for people who want a little more of a challenge, to give you something else that you can try. All right, great. And from here, now we're going to go into chaturanga. So you can put your block to the side if you're using a block. Both hands come to the floor. You act like you're doing a push-up or chaturanga. And then upward facing dog, you can put your knees on the floor or lift your knees off the ground. And downward facing dog, where you come into an inverted V. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And look forward and then step or jump forward. And halfway lifts. And forward fold. And now we're going to come into our chair pose again. So you remember that's the pose where you reach for the sky like a baby is jumping into your arms, but at the same time, your bottom is like you're getting ready to sit into a chair, or Utkatasana is the other name for this pose. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And from here, bring your hands into prayer. And then we're going to twist to our right side for prayer twist to the right side. Exhale. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And now we're going to go into Pada Guhasana. So basically, you're going to take your two fingers like the peace sign, and you're going to wrap them around your big toe. So this is very much like the ragdoll pose, but you're going to put your fingers around your big toes. And just let it hang. We're just relaxing. Think about what's your favorite thing to do outdoors. Jump up and down on a trampoline, go swimming, running, hiking. Just bring yourself to that place while we're hanging out here in Padangustasana. Now inhale, and we're going to come back into chair's pose or Utkatasana. Feet are shoulder width apart, arms are stretched towards the ceiling, and bottom is lowering towards the floor as deep as you can. Then bring your hands together in prayer. And this time we're going to twist to the left side. Really think about those side abdominals, like you're giving that good stretch, giving yourself that definition on the sides. Deep breath in and release. And now we're going to go into Padahasana. So your entire palm of your hand is going underneath the bottom of your feet. So this is like ragdoll, but now you're stepping on your hands literally. And deep breath in and deep breath out. And again, we're outdoors, thinking about the trees swaying, the sun is shining. What would you be doing if you were outdoors today? Just bring yourself to those happy places and those happy thoughts, because we're just hanging out in Padahastasana. And from here, I want you to go into what we call squat pose. And then for those who are able, you can do crow pose, but I'm going to have Chantel demonstrate squat pose first. So basically lower your bottom like a baby hanging out. They're getting ready to pick up something off the floor. And if you need the support, you can put a block underneath your bottom, as Chantel just demonstrated. Your hands can be in prayer. And if you're a beginner, this is it. You do not need to do more than this. However, if you are more of an advanced yoga practitioner, then I want you to go into crow pose. And in crow pose, your hands are straight. You're putting your knees on your triceps, and you can slowly lift your feet off the ground. Guys, I thought I would never be able to do this pose. So if you're a beginner and you don't want to do the pose right now, I highly encourage you to try it just at home, just playing around. My lower body is way bigger than my upper body. And I'm like, there's no way my little tiny arms will ever support my entire lower body, but I can do crow pose. So if I can, no one can. And if I'm talking a lot, it's because I anticipate you're falling in and out, you're playing around, you're experimenting with your body. We said our intention was to have fun. So this is a fun pose to me. If you don't stress and you don't overthink it, right? How long can I hold my body in the air? And hope if you don't get it now, you can always do it later. And so from here, we are going to go into our equanimity series. So let's go ahead and bring your legs back, and we're going to chaturanga. And then we're going to lower our body, and we call this you flow, upward facing dog and downward facing dog. If I ever say flow, that means chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog. Okay, so look forward, step or jump forward, halfway lift, forward fold, and rise up. Inhale, Tadasana, exhale. And now we're gonna do eagle pose. Eagle pose is so much fun to me because you're literally trying to turn your body into a pretzel. I'm not sure why it's called eagle pose. If I could name it, I would call it pretzel pose. So you're gonna take your right leg and put it over your left leg. So I'm gonna walk you through this step by step. And your leg can be in one of many positions, right? It can just be hanging out over your other leg. If you're super flexible, it can be wrapped around. I can only get it like over my leg, but some people can get it to the point where your foot is behind your calf, as Chantel's doing. So she's super flexible. And from there, you want to take your arms, lift them in the air. One of the few poses I can demonstrate while teaching, bring your right arm under your left arm and then clasp your hands together, right? So right leg goes over the left leg, right arm goes under the right arm. And that's your eagle pose. Now you want to lower your bottom a little bit like you would into that chair pose if you want a deeper stretch. Keep your back straight, right? So you don't want to lean forward too much in this. You want to keep your back straight. And this is eagle pose on the right. And now we're going to do eagle pose on the left. So you unwind your body, untwist that pretzel, can stretch out, wiggle out a little bit if you need to. And now you're going to do the left leg over the right leg and the left arm under the right arm for eagle pose on the right. For those who are like time people, we're all on our laptops, so you can probably see the time is 7:34. So we're about halfway through the class, okay? And from here, we're gonna go ahead and Tadasana or stand up straight again. And now we're going to go into our standing leg raise. And what this means, it's exactly what it says. You're gonna lift your leg straight into the air directly in front of you, and hold your hand, your foot with your right arm. So this is a standing leg raise on the right, right? And now bring that right leg out to the side. Okay, you can either have it bent at 90 degrees or you can extend your leg straight out and hold it at your shin or thigh, whatever works for you. And then from there, keeping your leg into the air, you're going to slowly bring your leg back in front and then bring your leg behind you for airplane pose. Airplane pose, you're like a kid, right? This is the fun part. Flying like an airplane, Superman, Batman, whoever is your favorite character. You get to be him for a few minutes in this, or her, Wonder Woman, for this a few minutes in this class. And guys, if you fall out, I fall out like at least once a class. Like drop out of a pose, you drop back into it. No big deal at all, right? Standing leg raise on the right, going into airplane. And now we're going to do half moon. So with your half moon pose, use a block if you need to use a block. And basically you're going to put the hand opposite of the leg in the air on the floor, and the other hand that's on the same side of that leg goes into the air, right? So that's half moon. And hold that for a few breaths. You're flying high in the sky, looking down at the air. The moon's above you, the earth's below you. And now let's come back down to earth in ragdoll. Your foot goes on the floor. Your head's hanging down, belly button to your spine, and use your hands to hold on to both elbows like this, but leaning forward instead, right? So ragdoll pose, one of my favorite poses because you just got to let it all go. And we're going to repeat what we just did on the right, on the left side. Pretty easy, right? Easy peasy. So go ahead and rise up. Take a big inhale for me in case you're one of those people holding your breath in class, and let it out. Exhale. And now we're going to do standing leg raise on the left. So again, you're going to bring that left leg in front of you, straight in front of you, and hold it with your left hand. You can either hold your knee or extend your leg fully and hold your foot with your hand, whatever works for you. And then bring your leg out to the side. And then from there, you are going to slowly bring your leg back to the front and then extend your leg behind you while lowering your chest towards the floor so that your back leg and chest are now both parallel to the floor and your arms are extended back. So again, Wonder Woman, Superman, whoever your favorite superhero. Our intention for this class is to have fun. So in your mind, I want you to go to fun places. I want you to smile. I want you to laugh. I want you to think about what was the best part of your day. You're flying high, and now we're going to do half moon. Again, the opposite arm from the leg that's in the air goes towards the floor, and the arm on the same side of your leg goes into the air. This is your half moon pose. Keep that leg straight, parallel to the floor. Okay, so your body is very linear, right? And if you need to use a block, use a block anytime you need to. And from half moon, we're going to go back into ragdoll. So lower your foot to the floor. Both arms grab your elbows. Your head is hanging. Your drishti, or your gaze, is on the wall behind you. And take a few deep breaths in. And then out. And then we're going to rise up again, or Tadasana. And then this is one of my favorite poses, dancer pose. And with dancer pose, you are basically going to take your right leg. We're going to start with dancer pose on the right. And you're going to grab your right leg with your right arm, your right ankle with your right arm. And then you're slowly going to lift your leg like you're trying to make your foot parallel with the ceiling behind you, while extended the opposite arm in front of you. Dancer pose. Think about what's your favorite song right now. For me, I would be doing body, yaddy, 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 yaddy in this pose. I made Chantel laugh, guys. And now you can release. And we're going to do dancer pose on the left. So left leg comes behind you. And then you're going to hold that left ankle with your left arm. Right arm extends in front of you. and then lift that back leg while leaning your body forward slowly. Awesome. Looking good. And then now you can release. And our last pose of the equanimity series is the tree pose. So you are a big, strong oak tree. Your roots are deep and your arms are wide. So think about your feet planted into the floor, and you're going to lift your right leg, and you can either put it on your shin, the floor, or your thigh. Chantel is demonstrating on your thigh. Hands are in front of you in prayer. And keep your neck elongated, extended. This is not a passive pose. You're not just there slouchy with your legs up. You are strong. You are wide. Your roots are deep. Lower your right leg, and then we're going to come into tree pose on the left side. So again, your foot can be on the floor. Chantel, can you just demonstrate for them what that floor position looks? And can you turn towards the camera just in case they don't, yes, perfect. So your foot can be there, or it can be on your shin, not on your knee, just a little bit below the knee because you want to protect your knee, or up in at your thigh area where Chantel had it originally. So those are the three different areas for your tree pose. Fingers are in prayer. Keep your hands, your elbows, lift your elbows, and drishti is straight ahead, straight in front of you. And that completes our equanimity series. Next, we're going to go into our grounding series. And we're going to start with our chaturanga. Bring your hands to the mat. Your feet are behind you. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Lift that right leg into the air and then swing it forward for warrior one. We've done warrior one a couple times now, so you should be familiar with this one. It's the lunge pose where your back leg is slightly parallel to the short edge of your mat, and you're reaching your hands into the sky, and try to go deeper into that lunge if you can. And from there, we're going to go straight into warrior two, where your arms come out to the side. You turn your body so it's facing the side of your mat. And then if you can, bring your shin forward to lower into that pose just a little bit. And then you're going to straighten that front leg. We're going to go into triangle pose. So straighten your legs, and then your right arm goes down towards the mat or on a block, and your left arm is extended into the air. This is our triangle pose. It reminds me of I'm a little teapot. So when you think about having fun in yoga, just think about what those poses remind you of and what fun memories that brings back for you. From there, we're going to rise up. So lift your body back, straight up. And then we're going to go into side facing wide leg forward bend. And the name of the pose is exactly what you're doing. So you're facing the side of your mat, your legs are wide, and you're going to bend your body forward, right? And so basically you're like trying to look through your legs, kind of like a kid when they're trying to find something. Instead of just looking behind, they kind of go into this pose. So this is your side facing wide-legged forward bend. You can put your elbows on the ground. You can reach behind your legs, have a little fun with it. For those who are able to, if you want to do a headstand, right? We're here to have fun, explore your body, explore your flexibility, and just free your mind to where you're going into Monday, just feeling healthy, free, and just ready to have all the possibilities for this week. From here, we're going to go ahead and rise up again. And now we're going to do Namaste front facing forward fold, which basically means your legs before they were on the short side of your mat. Now you're going to face your legs back towards the front of your mat. You're going to bring your hands behind you as if they're in prayer. If you can't do them in prayer behind you, you can hold your hands like this or just grab your elbows, whatever works for you. And then you're going to fold your body forward over that front leg, which would be your right leg at this time. And then from there, you're going to take the leg, the hand, your left hand on the floor for twisting triangle. You can use a block if you need to. And then the opposite arm reaches up towards the ceiling, right? So you're twisting all that tension from the work, from the weekend, whatever you did. You know, if it has you wound up, we're letting that all go in our twisting triangle. And from there, you flow. So remember, flow, hands come down to the mat. You're going to do chaturanga. Remember, that's your push-up pose. Upward facing dog. Your toes are on the floor. Your knees are either on the mat or off. And then downward facing dog or your inverted V pose. Okay? Great. So we flowed, and now we're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. If you remember it, go through it at your own pace. But for the newbies, I'm going to say every pose because I found that helpful when I first started out. So warrior one on the left side, left foot swings back towards the ceiling, then comes forward. You're in a deep lunge. That back leg is parallel, slightly parallel to the mat and on the floor. Arms are reaching for the sky. Belly button is pulled in towards the spine. Then open up to warrior two. In warrior two, you're reaching for both sides of the room. Hands are stretched out. You are just stretching yourself in this pose. You're not just passively holding your arms. You're reaching like tug of war, like your body's being pulled in two directions. That is your warrior two. Your legs are powerful. All 10 toes are planted into the ground. And then we're going to come into triangle pose. That right leg is now straight. Straighten your right leg, your left leg, I apologize. And put your hand on the floor or on a block, and the opposite arm is raised to the ceiling. So that is your triangle pose. And from there, we're going to go rise up, and we're going to go into our side facing wide leg forward bend. So you're basically bending over, you're doing the exact same pose, but you're facing the opposite side of the room, right? This time I want you to play around with lifting your toes off the floor while you're in this pose. Okay, awesome. And just kind of play around with it, elbows on the ground, rocking back and forth if you need to, going into a headstand if you can, and have fun with it, guys. That's why we're here, to have fun, enjoy, explore our bodies. And when you're ready, come down, and we're going to go into our namaste front facing forward fold. Awesome. And then from there, go ahead, fold over, your body folds over the front. And then we're going to do our twisting triangle. So right arm comes down to the floor. Left arm goes into the sky, reaches up for the sky. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and vinyasa. Or chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. And from here, we're going to lay on our mat, belly shavasana. And we're going to do our locust pose, or some may think of this as like a Superman pose in HIIT workout. So lift your upper body off the ground and your legs off the ground at the same time. Locust pose with airplane arms. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and release. And then we're going to do that one more time. And this time we're going to interlace our hands behind us. So deep breath in, lift your upper body and lower body, hands intertwined. And release. And then now you are going to, while laying on the ground, lift your legs off the ground Both legs bent at 90 degrees. And then I want you to reach for your legs with your arms. You're going to do what's called a floor bow. So lift your chest up, bring your entire body up, deep breath in, deep breath out, and release. And from here, you're going to turn over on your back. We're going to go into our first bridge pose. And what you're going to do is bring your feet as close as you can to your bottom while laying on your back. Your arms straight and on your sides. And then you're going to lift your pelvis off the ground. And that is your bridge. If you need to put a block underneath your bottom, you can. Hold it for one breath in and one breath out. And next we're going to do a wheel pose, but if you don't know how to do a wheel, you can do another bridge pose instead. You're going to bring your feet as close as you can to your bottom. Your fingers are by your ears with your palms facing your toes, with your fingers facing your toes. And then straighten your arms, straighten your legs to lift your body off the ground. That is a bridge pose. If you overthink it, you'll never do it. You just have to follow those instructions, feet close to your bottom, fingers facing back, and straighten your body, and you can do it. Go ahead and lower. And then we're going to do one more. You can choose bridge or wheel for this last one. Think feet close as possible to your bottom, hands to your side if you're doing bridge, hands by your ears if you're doing wheel, and lift. Okay. Go ahead and come back down. And now we're going to do Supta Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. Bring your feet together. Your knees fall outward and you're just relaxing like a butterfly. You're open to possibilities, open to the amazing week you're about to have, open to whatever positive is coming into your life. All right. And then you're going to lift your legs off the ground. Your feet are parallel to the ceiling. For happy baby or dead bug, grab your feet with your hands and just rock back and forth. And remember, our intention today is to have fun. So don't think about yourself as looking or feeling silly. Think about yourself as having fun, and you're getting ready for an amazing, amazing week. Then we're going to do what is called our boat pose. So go ahead and lay flat on the ground. And then you're going to lift your legs off the ground, your knees slightly bent, and lift your upper body off the ground with your hands at your sides. Exactly. Reaching up. That is your boat pose. That's a high boat. Now we're going to go into a low boat. So you're not going to touch the floor, but you're going to lower your feet and extend your arms. One breath in, one breath out. And let's come back into a high boat. Deep breath in, deep breath out, and low boat. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Last one, high boat. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Awesome. Now we're going to do our pigeon pose, half pigeon on the right. You're going to turn over. You don't need to lay on your stomach, but you're going to bring your right leg parallel to the top short edge of your mat, and your left leg is going to go behind you. Just find this is a great stretch, especially if you're a runner or do a lot of strength training on your legs. And lower your chest towards your mat. You can put a block behind your bottom if you need to. And I just want you to feel this stretch. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more time. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Now I want you to rise up and switch legs. So the left leg is going to come in front of you now, and the right leg is going to extend behind you for half pigeon on the right. And lay your chest towards the floor so you feel that stretch. Deep breath in and deep breath out. One more time, deep breath in and deep breath out. Now I want you to bring both legs in front of you. We're going to do a seated forward bend. So straighten your legs, and then I want you to reach for your toes. And just hold that. We're going to hold that for a couple breaths. Deep breath in and deep breath out. One more time, deep breath in and deep breath out. Now we're going to go into our headstands. If you cannot do a headstand, I'm going to have Chantel show you a couple different variations. First one is legs up the wall. You're literally just going to sit with your bottom against the wall and put your legs up the side of the wall. And that's all you need to do. If you can't do a headstand, that is absolutely fine. This is your pose, okay? If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, you can try a shoulder stand. So for that, you'll be on your yoga mat and you're going to lift your bottom off the floor and hold your weight up onto your shoulders, but you're not actually coming onto your head, right? So that's a shoulder stand. And then for those of you who can actually do a headstand, then absolutely, this is a great opportunity to do that. You can clasp your hands. Chantel actually taught me how to do this before I learned how to do it in class. Put them behind your head. Your elbows are against the floor, and slowly lift your weight off the floor and bring your legs into the air. And play around here. Do scissor legs, bring your legs open. Once you're comfortable, right? We're having fun. Think about like being underwater and you're doing those like dance moves like the dancers that do it in the water. That's fun, right? Today's intention was to have fun. And I have had so much fun with you all today. It pains me to bring us to a close. And we are going to go now, lay down on the floor. We're going to do a supine twist first on the right. So flat on the floor, bring your right leg up and then bring your leg over your body towards the floor on your right side, right? So we had a great class. We worked a lot of muscles. We stretched a lot of things out, right? Go ahead and now you're going to straighten that right leg. Bring your left leg up and over for supine twist on the left side. Chantel was such an amazing spotlight today. I'm so grateful for her support. And we're going to do our butterfly pose. And we're going to put one hand on your stomach, one hand on your chest. And just think about what you want your life to look like a year from now. Where will you be living? What job will you be doing? Who will you be with? And now I'm going to have you straighten your legs and your arms for Savasana. This is 6 minutes of just intentional rest. We have 24 hours in a day. We sleep about 8 hours of those days. Some of us don't sleep those 8 hours restfully, but the other 16, we have no problem spending 6 minutes on social media, no problem spending 6 minutes watching TV, no problem spending 6 minutes checking emails. But when it comes to 6 minutes of rest, sometimes we have a hard time. And today's intention is that you just spend 6 minutes with me of intentional rest. And what I want you to do in this 6 minutes is visualize your future. Before I said 1 year, I want you to think about 5 years out, what you want your life to look like. And I want you to think about it as much detail as you can. I want you to see the house you're living in. I want you to see who's around. I want you to think about like everything that's happening. And I'm just going to be quiet and I'm going to let you all know when our time is up and when you can come out of that pose, okay? But I just want to thank you for taking this moment. If for any reason you have to leave class before those 6 minutes is up, I want you to know that I appreciate you and I thank you. And I'm going to play a little bit of music for you through this time. We have about 5 minutes now because I talked a little bit. And may your God. Keep your eyes closed, but start to wiggle your toes. Wiggle your fingers. And then slowly roll your body to the right. Bend your knees in the fetal position. Keep your eyes closed. And then slowly come to a seated position. Close if you can. You can keep your legs crossed or straight. Feels good. Hands in prayer. And when you're ready, open your eyes. I am so thankful that you shared this moment with me, that we got to connect in a time when so many people feel disconnected. The light in me salutes the light in you. Namaste. If you would like to be a part of my picture capturing this moment, you can turn on your camera, please. And if you don't, that's totally okay. I am not offended. Not everyone likes sweaty pictures, and I didn't sweat, so I can't be mad if you don't want a sweaty picture. But if you do want to be a part of that and celebrating this moment, thank you. And if you have any feedback on the classes, I'm a new yoga teacher. Teaching during Zoom is new for all of us, and I'm learning and growing. So please feel free to give feedback on how I can make this experience even better for you going forward. If you like the class, just let me know you like the class, and I'm so glad. So I'm going to take a quick picture of us, and then we will close. All right, guys. Appreciate you. Love, light, sending you off into this week to just do amazing things, to bring joy to the world, to be the light in the world that people need to see. When people are so quick to snap and be angry and come like at people the wrong way, you just be that light. You be that energy, the positive energy we need more than ever. I'm just wishing greatness for you for this week. Good things are coming your way. Good energy is flowing your way. And I hope to see you again next Sunday. I know it's the playoffs. I'm not watching, but I appreciate you all being here with me during this time. And I hope you all have an amazing night.